tackling a popular topic among startup founders: fundraising. How do you raise funds? What kinds of investors are out there? And how do investors make money? As your startup grows, you may need funding to support it. But how does fundraising work for startups? In the early stages, founders work to keep costs to a minimum, but at the start, the costs of building a high-growth startup will be greater than the revenue. Some founders can self-fund their early losses by using savings or other forms of income. This is called bootstrapping. This option is not always feasible, and this is where raising funds comes in. Startups can raise funds through crowdfunding, grants, and competitions. They can also do it through debt from microlenders or banks. One common way to raise funds is through equity, by selling shares of your company. Who would invest in a startup? There are 4 categories of startup investors. The first category is friends, family, and fools. Fools is a lighthearted term referring to less experienced investors willing to invest early. There are also angel investors, early-stage investors with understanding and experience. They usually share the founder's passion for solving the problem. Another common investor is an institutional investor. These include venture capitalists, funds, banks, and insurance companies. Lastly, we have crowdfunders. These are the members of the public investing on sites like the Spark Project or Kickstarter. Investors can use the following ways to invest in startups. A loan doesn't require founders to give equity away. They just need to pay the amount and interest over an agreed period. With an equity investment, there's no interest and founders don't have to pay the money back. But they do have to give away a certain percentage of their company to the investor. To determine the amount of equity, the founder and investors need to agree on the worth of the startup. The amount of money the startup is worth is called a valuation. A convertible note starts off as a loan. It turns into an equity investment when the startup achieves certain milestones. When the note converts, the founders must pay the interest back. The principal amount becomes an equity investment, and a percentage of the company is then owned by the investor. There's also the SAFE, simple agreement for future equity. With the SAFE, investors are rewarded the equity when the startup raises money as part of a priced round. Terms such as seed and Series A refer to different fundraising rounds. Pre-seed is the earliest stage, also known as the friends and family stage. Seed funding is the first official equity funding stage. At this stage, angel and institutional investors usually take part in the round. Founders raise Series A after achieving a stable customer base and consistently growing revenues. Founders then pursue a Series B raise after proving that they can succeed on a larger scale. This round can be used for upgrading the talent pool, technology, and product or service. It can also be used to expand to new markets. For loans, investors get the return from the interest paid by founders. Meanwhile, for equity investments, investors get the return based on the increase in the startup's value. The difference between the original investment and the amount they receive for selling their shares at a higher price is their return. Startups stop fundraising when they close. Founders reach a stable size and are unlikely to grow further, or when they can fund future growth from their profits. There are many paths to fundraising, and startup teams need to plot out the roadmap to success. With this guide, we hope that we've made the fundraising journey clearer and easier for you. Thanks for watching! Sign up for a newsletter to be updated on QBO's events, workshops, and consultations. Visit QBO.com.ph to learn more.